while the market is hot, it is creating some massive problems. I'm Bill Olson, your favorite YouTubing realtor here in Charleston, and I really wanted to make a video for you today about new construction and all these great places to live with new builds. But while I was doing my research for that, and in conjunction with working with my buyers and my sellers, the same theme keeps coming up, and I just needed to press record. It's something you need to know about that is creating major problems here in the Charleston real estate market. This is something that affects you as a home buyer and as a home seller. The main root of this issue and this problem is that there is low inventory. Now, that's not a secret. Inventory is historically low. We normally carry about 5 to 5,500 listings at any given point. We are about to drop below 3,000 listings. We are almost at 50% of the amount of homes we normally have for people to buy. So let's look at how this is affecting everybody. Like I said, I was researching new construction, and at the start of this whole craziness and lockdowns, builders scaled back. They stopped building spec homes, and their inventory sold. It was almost gone. Now that we're back and people are buying and the interest rates have plummeted, well, then we have another issue, and we've seen lumber prices just skyrocket. There's a lumber shortage. Because of this lumber shortage, builders have had to hike their prices. I have clients under contract right now, and I asked the builder that, what is the price of this home now that lumber has gone up? That same home right now to build is $16,000 more. So because of these price hikes, and we take that and then we look at Mount Pleasant, where there's a building moratorium. So builders can only get so many permits to build homes, and then they have to stop and they have to wait until next year. So now we have this shortage of inventory, and we're pushing people out of this market to where if you're approved for up to 300 and 5 months ago a new build cost you $295, you were within your budget. Well, now with lumber prices going up, that same home could be $310. Now you can't afford it. So what does that do? That pushes you into the resale market, where we're seeing just as low of inventory, but even more competition. This competition is across all price ranges, from first-time home buyers up into the $1 million homes, which we're seeing a record number sales this year. So let's say you're a first-time home buyer, and we're putting an offer in on a home. Mostly first-time home buyers, you might be FHA loan, or you need some closing cost assistance, which in the past usually wasn't a big deal. But now we're seeing all these homes go into multiple offers more often than ever. So you coming in and needing this assistance, or having an FHA loan as opposed to a conventional loan, that severely hurts your chances of getting into that house. There are ways around this. I had a client who there were 21 offers on a home he wanted to buy, and we were told that if he dropped his appraisal contingency, that they would accept our offer. Dropping the appraisal contingency is a huge deal, because now not only does he have his down payment, his closing costs, but should that house not appraise, then he is responsible to cover that. That could be $5,000, it could be $15,000. That's just extra money out of his pocket. You may be thinking, well, this is great news for sellers, right? Because they can get so much more money for their house. Well, yeah, that is great, but where do sellers go after they sell? They turn into buyers. So that puts them back in that same situation that their buyers were in to buy a new home. I really believe that right now that's one of the reasons why homeowners aren't selling, is because they don't know where to go. While, yeah, they can get great money for their house and have it be bid up, but are they going to be able to compete in those multiple offers to get to where they need to be? So because they're not putting their homes on the market, this is causing inventory to shrink even more. Now I'm going to give some tips on how to navigate this market later at the end of this video, but I really need to get through these points and the problems in this market first. So these homes are hitting the market. They're going to all these multiple offers, and buyers are missing out on these homes. Then they think, well, let's just go find that home that's been on the market for a while and we'll just buy that one. Well, there's probably some issues with the home as to why it hasn't sold. It's probably overpriced. And if you do buy that home, you're probably at the top of your budget and you're inheriting some issues with that home that you're going to need to fix. But if you're already at the top of your budget, do you have the money to fix it, or are you just going to have to live with it? And we all know that the best way to build wealth is to purchase a home, build equity, sell it, move up, sell it, move up, sell it, move up. But if you can't purchase this home, it's pushing so many people out of the market, there's really no room for growth. And if you can barely afford that house, it's going to take you so much longer to be able to sell it and move up and build that wealth for your family. Another reason why we're seeing such shortage of inventory here is because we're seeing a lot of influx from other bigger metropolitan areas where the cost of living in Charleston is significantly cheaper. I've had many calls from Connecticut, New York, New Jersey, where even if it's the same price home, the property taxes here are so much lower, and now they can work from home, so it's like they're getting a raise. So we're bringing more people into this market that have some money, and they're pushing other people out. Let's go back to the homeowners and where they're going if they would sell. Most homeowners we see, they sell their home and they move into something new or something bigger. But with these new homes, there's even less of them. There's low inventory. But if there is inventory, I had friends just get into this situation where they were looking at their dream home to build. Well, it's going to take 7 months to build that home. Because there's so much demand, the builder can now require that they either get pre-approved to carry both mortgages in case they don't sell their home, or they only have 30 days to sell their home so they can start building and then can't move in for 7 months. They have a 4-year-old and a 1.5-year-old. So that means they would have to pack up their house, move into a rental or an apartment for 6 months until that new build is done. So that's basically throwing money away in the rent as opposed to building their equity. But because there's such low inventory, builders are able to do this. So instead of putting that money towards a rental for 6 to 8 months, we're seeing homeowners add on to their homes and stay in them longer. Now, on the other side of things, we have this cloud hanging over our head of forbearance. I really hate to bring this up because, I don't want to make this a doom and gloom video, but I do need to present the facts to you. I feel that is my job. But, these people that have gone into forbearance, it means that they right now can't afford the home that they're in. And yeah, things may come back, they can make up those payments and everything will be fine. Otherwise, they're either going to be forced to sell or, God forbid, they get foreclosed upon. Now, yes, if they start to sell, that's going to loosen up some inventory. I don't think it's going to loosen up inventory enough, because if you can't afford a bigger home and you're forced to sell, then that means instead of moving up and building that wealth and that equity, you're actually moving into a smaller home. And we know those smaller homes have more competition. So if you're forced to sell this big home, that puts more people in this lower price point where we're going to continue to see multiple offers and people outbid constantly. Again, I didn't want to bring you down and bring down the Charleston market. There are a lot of great things happening. Interest rates are low. People are still buying houses. They're getting into those houses. People are still selling their homes. But I need you to understand that it is causing these issues and you do need to be aware of them. All right, so what are my tips? Well, as a buyer, the first thing you need to do is you need to get your financing in check. That means getting a pre-approval. And I don't mean just calling that big box bank that you bank with to get your pre-approval and go through them, or just any big national lender, because let me tell you, when you're in multiple offers, one thing they look at is who that lender is. If you have a great local lender, and you don't need to use one of my preferred lenders, but if they're local, then that is a lot more confidence with the listing agent and the seller to be able to get that from contract to close. And these big banks and these big lenders that, your guy might be in California and he's so busy you can't even get in touch with him, that's going to cause some issues on you getting that offer accepted. Now, if you're moving here and you have a home to sell elsewhere, I highly, highly suggest you need to at least get that home under contract, if not sold, before we put an offer in on another property. This is just like with that lender, that if you've got this extra contingency in there in multiple offers, it is one more hurdle that you need to get through to get from contract to close. So while the listing agent's going to present your offer, it's probably going to get pushed off to the side for someone who doesn't have to sell. I have clients right now who were moving from North Carolina and they didn't want to have to deal with the contingency. So they sold their home up there. They moved into an apartment down here so that when the right home comes on the market, they are ready to jump on it and move in and have as few contingencies as possible so that they can compete against others that might. And if you're a first-time home buyer, I don't want this to scare you at all. Again, I don't want to paint doom and gloom. There are so many first-time home buyers getting into homes right now with the interest rates as low as they are, but you need to get with your agent, and your best thing to do is to formulate a plan and know exactly what you're going to do when that home hits the market. They always say if you sleep on it, you're probably not going to sleep in it, and that is so true in this market. Have a plan, execute that plan, and you will get in that first home so that you can start building your wealth here in Charleston. Thanks for attending my TED Talk here, folks, people. I'm Bill Olson, your favorite Charleston YouTubing realtor, and hopefully next time we'll have a brighter video for you. Have a good one. Bye.